Hey, curl friends, and welcome back to Cocaknotz, home of the Long Hair Society. Over here, we believe that long hair is our destiny and big hair is our birthright, and we coming for every single inch. So if you're ready to have some long hair and a whole lot of money, this is the channel for you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's be curl friends. All right, so let's get into it. I did her hair months ago. I'm talking about last year, late October. And baby, you about to see all the evidence. Now, before you find her guilty for what I'm about to show you, I'm going to need you to go ahead and give my homegirl some grace. She ain't mean to. She just wanted some long hair and she just wanted to sew in. And she took it too far. Now, I do the 6 month sewing, but when I do these type of sewings, I give you instructions. Now, the 6 month sewing can be a valuable tool on your long hair journey if you use it right. You see what I'm saying? You can't get a 6 month sewing and forget that you have hair trying to grow underneath and you're trying to make sure you retain that growth when you take the 6 months sewing out. So you got to be on top of your maintenance. And homegirl, she was not on top of her maintenance at all. I trusted her and she ain't do it. So guess what? We're going to take it down, fix it, and put another sewing in. And I told her straight up, if I don't see an improvement in this upcoming sewing, I can't do your sewings no more. Not until you understand that you have to follow all the rules and regulations to the 6 month sewing. So I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all the rules and regulations to a 6 month sewing so your hair doesn't end up in this state. And I'm also going to show you in this video, if your hair does end up in this state, how you can still retain length, get your scalp clean, make sure your hair is nicely detangled without ripping out all that growth that you put your hair through, and get your hair back on track. Now, beneath the dirt in the buildup, if you look closely, you can see that she did retain about 2+ inches of new growth. The aim of the game is retain length. You see that she just grew 2+ inches? Yeah, we got to keep that on the head. So we're going to make sure that we take this out in a proper manner to retain that length. Now, the reason why a 6 month sewing can be a tool for you to grow very long hair is because it keeps your natural hair still, and it keeps you from messing up your natural hair because you have someone else's hair stitched on top of your hair. So you can manipulate that. You can go ahead and fry that. You can dye that, and you ain't got to do nothing to your hair. Your hair is nicely safe and tucked away underneath if you follow the rules and regulations of a 6 month sewing, and if you have someone who installs it right, but especially removes it right. Now, this is where I'm gonna need you to show her some grace, okay? Because it's about to get how shall I say, unpleasant to the eyes. Now, I know what you're thinking. What the hell is that? Okay, that's product buildup. I use a lot of heavy butters and oils from nature, and they have natural coloring of brown or yellow or even green. So that's a lot of product buildup, and you're just seeing the product solidify over time. Now, every time I see this during someone's removal of a 6 month sewing, I know firsthand they didn't wash their hair, shampoo their hair as much as they should have, because it shouldn't be this much evidence to prove that you didn't. She advised me that she washed her hair a couple of times, but come to find out, in actuality, she was washing the hair extensions frequently in her leave out. Shampooing your entire head when having a sewing is essential. That's the #1 rule and regulation you have to follow when doing this type of sewing. You have to make sure that you use a shampoo that gets through to the scalp and gets through your braids. Now, it can be very intimidating. You don't know if you're going to dry it all the way through. You don't know if you're going to do it right or mess up the hairstyle. You don't know what's going to happen. And if you don't have the extra funds to go get it maintained as frequently by a professional stylist or from the person who put it in your head, then it's going to be very difficult to want to get up and just shampoo your hair. You're just going to ride the hairstyle out like she did. And I promise you, even though it looks like it smells, it does not smell at all. Her hair actually smells like hair perfume. This type of sewing is very extreme. So moving forward, I will be doing her maintenance for her for free. So I just want to show you guys how to properly maintain this at home if you don't have the extra money to go and get your maintenance done by your stylist who puts in a long wearing hairstyle like a 6-month sew-in. A 6-month sew-in is safe for your hair until it ain't safe for your hair. So you have to maintain it properly. If not, your edges are going to suffer. Your leave out is definitely going to suffer like hers did. And your ends are going to suffer as well. Not only that, your scalp gonna start acting up too if you ain't careful. So I have got to be more diligent in maintaining her sew-in and making sure that I show her an in-depth tutorial on how she can actually take care of her sewing when she doesn't have a stylist around or a auntie like me. So I'm going to take you guys on that journey too. I'm going to document this sewing, how to maintain it, how to spray it with water to make sure that your hair is getting hydrated, because if you're not misting your sewing in between the days and weeks, your ends are going to be too dry. So you need to be misting your hair. You need to be shampooing your hair. And I'm going to show y'all how to do it. I'm going to show her how to do it. And you're going to see a big difference in when we remove the next unit. So as you saw, I removed all the extensions from her hair. You see all this new growth. And now I have got to unravel the braids. I am cutting down the ends of the braids carefully because we ain't trying to cut her hair off. And now it's time for us to carefully detangle and unravel these braids. So you have to be so careful removing and unraveling these braids because her hair is very dry because she basically didn't put any water on it. So you're going to have to add back moisture into her hair to help with the detangling process. That way you can keep as much hair on her head. You're going to need these two products. You're going to need the main magic elixir. You're going to put it in a spray bottle that has water in there, and this is going to condition and soften the water. It's going to make sure that her hair stays wet for a longer period of time without using hard water, because this right here is going to instantly soften that water and it's going to make detangling easy peasy lemon squeezy. So once I remove all the threads from the braid, I'm going to go ahead and saturate the braid. As you can see, that's a lot of new growth, a lot of buildup. And that buildup can actually get caked up. And if you try to run a comb through this dry hair that's filled with buildup that has been dry for months, you're going to rip out too much hair. It's going to get snagged in the comb. It's going to get caught up in the buildup. So what you're going to do is saturate the hair down. Saturate each braid, the roots to the tip. And once you do that, you're going to use the main magic growth sauce, which is the detangling lotion, cream, oil that's going to make sure your hair has so much slip. It's going to get through that buildup. And these are all natural ingredients. The lemon inside of this product is going to make sure that it starts to break down all that product buildup so that your hair can just slip through without getting ripped off. I put it all over the braid, all over the roots, because you know how that new growth can be kind of thick up at the top. So we're going to make sure everything is wet down and moisturized down, and then we're going to start unraveling the braid. If you have natural hair, trust me, get these two products. I'm not trying to sell you, but I'm trying to sell you because I know these work. It's going to work for any protective style. I don't care if you had it in for 1 day or 365 days. It's going to help get through buildup. It's going to help with a lot of slip so you can detangle, especially if your hair is very matted, very coily, and very dry. It's going to add instant hydration, and it's going to be a great pre-poo so your hair is nice and prepped for the shampoo. Now, because her hair has been cooped up for months, her natural daily hair shedding is all trapped up inside of there. So you have got to get that naturally shed hair out without ripping out her healthy hair. Make sure you click the link below and grab these two products because it's going to be a game changer for any time you're removing your protective styles. You're going to be retaining length and really seeing your hair growth. Imagine doing 6 months sewing after sewing and you ain't even seeing no growth. You just having your hair cooped up, getting to this type of situation, and you ain't retaining length. Get these two products and trust me, it's going to show you where your length has been all this time. It has been in the comb and it has been on the floor. Because whenever you use a comb, especially when your hair dry, it's going to be really hard for you to see your length. You're just going to be wasting money, wasting time with sewings and protective styles if you still using a comb to dry hair to remove your protective style, you're combing out all your volume. That's why your hair is getting thinner and thinner. And then you're tearing out your ends, so your hair is getting shorter and shorter. After I go ahead and finger detangle this section and get all of the naturally shed hair out, I'm going to start brewing my natural shampoo. I know y'all see all that fairy dust everywhere, but I'm going to make sure I keep the hair in sections and shampoo in sections. That way I'm not over manipulating the hair, getting it back tangled up, because your hair has been cooped up for months. It loves to hug at this point. So it's going to try to get tangled back up on you. So you have to keep your hair in sections. Because she spent some good money on some good hair, we're just going to refresh the hair extensions and put it right back in. We're going to go ahead and put a color refreshener on top of the hair extensions so it gets its luster back, and we're gonna shampoo it out, clean it up real good, and put it right back in her head. So I'm showing you guys that now, and as you can see, she got some buildup on the hair extensions. So I like to use dishwashing soap, especially at the tracks, to make sure I get out as much as that buildup, which is basically oil. Get that oil out right at the tracks, and then I'm gonna make sure I color the hair extensions from root to tip, and then shampoo it with your favorite shampoo and conditioner that you like to use on your hair extensions. Now I have a question for you, and I want you to sound off in the comments. How many times should a person shampoo their hair with a 6-month sew-in? Now, if you want to learn how to install a 6-month sew-in and prep your hair for optimum hair growth, make sure you stay tuned for the next video. I'm going to show you the entire process. It's going to be a good one. You don't want to miss that. See you in the next video.